Similarities about the respective routes to Wembley. Both Uniteds drawn at home in each round. Both had to come through one away replay. Manchester at Chelsea, Newcastle at Blackburn, and both survived penalty scares in the semi-final. Newcastle United to kick off again against the champions as they were a year ago. Again, despite the change in management, finishing 13th in the Premiership. 33 points in league terms, the gap between these two sides. Newcastle have kept this as low-key as possible. They only arrived in London yesterday afternoon, trying to treat it as just another match. Harman, Rob Lee, in goes Keane. It was rolled into midfield by Davies. Lee reacted smartly, finding himself in the centre where in truth I think he'd like to play. Domi, Solano. Lee can line up a shot, it flies off David May. Ketspire came in powerfully and pushed into Jonsson. Free kick given by today's referee, Peter Jones, who had to preside over those chaotic fifth-round scenes which led to Arsenal beating Sheffield United and then restaging the tie.
Well, not everything's perfect match day at the moment, the match ball. Was a little sneaker goal there for Rob Lee, Martin. I was surprised he didn't get pressed a little bit quicker, a little bit earlier. He had time to take a couple of touches, and he certainly can strike them better than that, but I think that's a little measure of nerves. Opening 5-6 minutes, every player wants a touch of the ball just to settle them. Even players who are, steeped in international caps, they want a touch.
Oh, Newcastle beginning with a real sense of purpose. Harman.
Just looking at Roy Keane, Martin, that tackle from Gary Speed. He went off with a damaged ankle, and he just got up just rather gingerly. He's limping at the moment. Roy Keane, he doesn't look happy. This is the tackle from Speed. Keane just taking time, wandering about. You see the left ankle just buckle under him, twisted it. There isn't a doubt in my mind of that. It's just how much damage to the ligaments. It's a twist.
Speed, who has had an excellent season for Newcastle. He's taken part in all but one of their first-team games this season. And a year ago we were saying he hadn't really done himself justice since his move from Everton. He has been one of Newcastle's players of the season.
Well, I'm keeping my eye on Roy Keane, Martin. He is very, very uncomfortable, the United skipper.
What a step up for Steve Harper, who takes the free kick. Shearer, Solano, and Schmeichel has to hold it at the second attempt, but that's in keeping with the early mood from Newcastle United.
Lovely volley, beautiful technique from Solano. It's never beaten him. Schmeichel's behind it all the way, but I noticed there Alan Shearer just drifted onto David May, teammates at Blackburn. I just wonder if sometimes when you played with someone, Martin, you know their strengths, and if Alan, even in training and practice matches, had a lot of joy over the years when they're both at Blackburn, and those kind of games might well play on David May.
Solano, Speed, trying to guide it through to Ketspire, cut out by Jonsson.
Keane's struggling, Martin. I'm telling you, he's not going to last. He is really struggling. He wants him to go down.
And what a few days it's been for Roy Keane, from a celebration to simply a sell. And now the concern of an early injury, or a recurrence, as Andy points out, of an injury that has put him over the run into the Premiership, although he did play against Tottenham, surprisingly.
Was it the left ankle, Martin? I just can't remember. But that was the tackle. Now look at the left ankle, just turn and twist underneath him. Now that's tweaked the ligaments, and it must have done, not only tweaked them but stretched them. It's often a difficult one, not like a knock that you can run off, not like when you've strained or pulled something, a ligament in particular. I would be amazed if he's done that, if he's carrying on for much longer. Alex Ferguson, probably within 5 minutes, is at the moment talking about making his first change in this year's FA Cup final.
Well, there's no Nicky Butt involved today because of the suspensions one assumes that Alex Ferguson and Steve McLaren have got to deal with on Wednesday, and Scholes and KEANE can't play. Giggs, Jesper Blomqvist is on the bench. Bit of hesitation here by Phil Neville, and Manchester United have got problems.
Well, he's in trouble, Haman. Referee didn't have a great view of that. People had backed. He's a long way away, Peter Jones, when he makes his decision, but he's late. Fractionally, but he's late. Be the first yellow card.
Hamann, the first German to play in an FA Cup final since Bert Trautmann kept goal in the mid-50s for Manchester City here.
I'm still thinking about what Alex Ferguson might have to do, Martin. His captain looks very bad. I'm looking at who he's got on the bench. He could certainly play David Beckham infield and bring on Jesper Blomqvist. He certainly could play Dwight York wide. We know, we have seen York in recent league matches at the end of the season play both right and left.
Beckham offside against Cole. He could also tuck Giggs in one and play Blomqvist outside him. But at the moment, Roy Keane, who's joining a select band of players who've taken part in 5
well, hold on,
Wembley finals.
Teddy Sheringham, I think, is a one, has been given the nod. Now that is one I wouldn't have called. I just wonder if that means Solskjaer will drop back into the midfield area.
Shearer. Well, we're talking about a serious injury here and a key part of Manchester United's team, and let's not forget also the illness that's affecting Paul Scholes. Giggs, that's good defending by Domi. Bit of hesitation by Charvet, and Newcastle, who looked as though they dealt with the danger, switched off for a fraction of a second. That could have been very costly. Here's a hesitant kick by Schmeichel. Well,
I'm all for players being composed in a cup final, Martin, but Charvet there really did put his keeper in all sorts of trouble. A lovely ball from Ryan Giggs, you know, to Andy Cole. I don't think he realised Domi was behind them. Otherwise, he'd have just gone straight onto it.
Scholes. Charvet cuts it out. He's had a full week's training. And he looks okay, but we can't say the same about Roy Keane. His life has gone downhill since he collected the Premiership trophy last Sunday. And with just 8 minutes gone, the Manchester United captain has to go off. An ankle injury. Ryan Giggs runs across to talk to Alex Ferguson. Teddy Sheringham comes on.
Beckham in field, I can tell you right away. Solskjaer right, looks at the signal, the instructions that have come on.
Sheringham involved straight away. His first touch trying to guide it for Scholes. Comes to Solskjaer.
Why didn't someone shout to Sheringham? Hold, control it on the chest. They all back away. Ball's thrown in, now take it in your chest. Somebody really should have been giving him a little shout. Shot's not troubling him. But you get the feeling the game hasn't started for Manchester United, Martin. Almost 10 minutes into it. Major reshuffle. Influential player going off.
Well, that is very tough to take. for a very tough character. Gary Neville with a throw. May. Put up, dangerous play, indirect free kick. Beckham rolls it to Scholes. May trying to feed it into the feet of Andy Cole, who took it very well under some pressure. Sheringham. Scholes for Sheringham! Brilliant play by Manchester United, and the substitute has struck. What an extraordinary set of circumstances here. Heads down, Roy Keane off, arms up in elation for the man who's replaced him. Absolutely super for Sheringham.
Well, the game certainly started now for Manchester United. What a move, what quality. But I'll tell you something, Andy Cole's pass here, Martin, it's to Giggs. Sheringham just sticks out a leg, but what he did from there, two exquisite touches. I thought Scholes was going to hit it, but he just faces a quite beautiful ball here. Perfectly weighted. Sheringham's only concern is hitting it and hitting the target because the ball's so good. And Steve Harper's first real task, picking the ball out the back of his net. We said it was important for Newcastle they don't concede early. They've done that. Just how will they respond?
May. In goes Harman untidily. Free kick to Manchester United. When we were beginning to list the difficulties for them, they produced a superb goal. Only Sheringham's fourth of the season.
Great finish. Kept it low. Goalkeeper spreads himself very like Peter Schmeichel has done through the years, but through the legs it goes. And suddenly, what was looking a very awkward day for the Manchester United manager has changed within a second.
Shearer trying to hunt down the ball played in behind David May. Well, even more responsibility on those broad shoulders for Newcastle now. Teddy Sheringham, who scored goals here, of course, for England, but in club football hasn't had too many big days. Now he's got his Premiership medal and he's hoping to secure another prize trinket in the FA Cup with the opening goal of the 1999 FA Cup final.
Well, we talked about skill and ability winning you matches, and Alex Ferguson over the years has made some great tactical substitutions that have won matches. But there's that old commodity that man possesses as well, and that's good old-fashioned luck, Martin. You lose your captain, you think you've got problems. His substitution to bring on Sheringham was a masterstroke. Obviously, we're talking about Blomqvist and talking about other people. And on he brings Teddy Sheringham, and what, within a minute, 2 minutes? Guess what, he scored.
Really against the balance of the opening minutes. Newcastle trying to be fast out of the traps. It's a player known not for his natural physical speed, but for his quick thinking, Teddy Sheringham, who has given Manchester United the early impetus.
This is when it's dangerous, though, to have cruised the way Newcastle have done, Martin, since they won the semi-final. Because if you lose a goal like this against an immensely confident side and talented one, then where is your confidence to get you back in? Where does it come from when you've gone a goal down early in a cup final?
And Solskjaer with a different job now, but Teddy Sheringham, 96 seconds after coming on, puts another paragraph in this history of this glorious competition. Scholes. I've got to be careful with the challenge after the early booking. He's got the ball here, and Peter Jones has blown against Gary's speed. Newcastle United were the first club to reach 10 FA Cup finals when they last won it in 1955. And now Manchester United already taking an early step towards becoming the first club to win it 10 times. Shearer using his strength against Johnson. Supported by Lee. Gets Bayer. Griffin. Oh, and they've lost track of Rob Lee here at Manchester United. And Shearer gets his head to the cross.
Little push. Peter Jones just indicating to the Newcastle captain there's a little nudge. He would have liked to look at this. Lovely little build-up, but he would have liked to look at this cross as it comes in on Gary Neville. But just a little nudge. No luck for Shearer there, but what a finish here. Look at that, he threatened. He set up just to shoot goals. Slid the pass through. He can't believe it, can he? He can't believe it.
Well, when you've waited till the age of 33 to become a winner, I guess you wonder whether it's ever going to happen. But for Teddy Sheringham, it's as though this is going to be a wonderful week in his life. But we're still in the early stages here at Wembley. Gary Neville with the cross. At the far post for Manchester United. He's just hesitated for a moment, but had the speed to recover, helped by Beckham. Flag stayed down. Newcastle fans on that far side yelling for the ball going out of play. Philip Neville. Tough little character, Andy Griffin. He went in powerfully, then did Beckham.
We'll just have to be careful, David Beckham. We know how intense he gets in a game. He's now in an area of the football pitch where he's going to be in contact. Certainly with Gary Speed and Nick Marhaman, two competitive players on their own.
It's a Manchester United throw, Newcastle throw rather, it deflected off the United defender, and Rob Lee, who was captain here last year, he's had to surrender that to Ruud Gullit's change of policy. And Shearer does those honours these days. Harman. It's a foul by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who was sent off against Newcastle in the Premiership last season.
Well, this is distance, this is a free kick. So the lunge, he's just a little late. Gary Speed just nicks it. Lucky to get away without a yellow card, but this is certainly in Haman range. I would have fancied Shearer, Martin, but he's walked away from it. It's unusual. How often have you seen Shearer walk away from a free kick in that kind of area?
The one Newcastle goal against Manchester United this season came from a free kick, and it was Solano.
Solano bent it. They have the options.
He's got the subtlety, Harman the power. It's Solano trying to recreate at Wembley what he managed at St James's Park.
Not a bad effort, I have to say. But you can always tell, I talk about goalkeepers' reaction to a cross. You see Schmeichel unconcerned with it, knew it was always just a couple of feet too high. He certainly bend and dip on it.
Plenty of television viewers in Peru today, and indeed all over the globe, such as the international appeal of the FA Cup final. Scholes, and another free kick conceded by Harman. Has finished the season well for Newcastle. He and Gary Speed to try and get a grip in the central midfield. It's Sheringham. Speed with the challenge, and the cross just a little overcooked.
I'll tell you what Alex Ferguson has got now with this system. I just looked there as the cross was coming from left. is that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, unlike David Beckham, who would probably just hold wideish, is bombing into the box. He's not going to be restricted.